People who never left their dreams, they are living the life of their dreams. First spiritual system of production is the thought realm. Welcome to Wisdom for Wealth, the platform that teaches us vital wisdom for wealth. If you want to become wealthy, the first thing you must ask for is wisdom. The wisest man that ever lived was said to be Solomon. And the first thing he ever asked for was the wisdom to be able to lead. And that wisdom brought him a lot of wealth. He was said to be the wisest man that ever lived, and also said to be the wealthiest man that ever lived. Even up till now, we still refer to the wealth of Solomon because he was very wealthy. He was the only king that did not have war. He always enjoyed peace. Why? Because of wisdom. Wisdom is profitable to the rest. Wisdom is the principal thing. And in all that getting, it is very important that you get wisdom. So the first wisdom dimension that I want to examine today is that number one, wealth is spiritual. Wealth is spiritual. Many people think wealth is the money you have in your bank account. Many people think wealth is the money you have in your hand, the cash that you are handling. That's what many people think. But that's not what wealth is. Wealth is first spiritual before it becomes physical. The thing is, people have been looking for wealth in the physical, and not many people have been looking for it in the spiritual. And that's why we have not successfully handled the kind of wealth that we need. Why? We are looking for the physical wealth rather than looking for the spiritual wealth. I submit to you, by the little experience I've had when it comes to wealth building, I can tell you for sure that if you meet any man who is wealthy, they can tell you that wealth is spiritual. It's spiritual. Somebody say it's spiritual.
It's spiritual.
Man is a spirit. He has a soul and he lives in a body. Man is a spirit. He has a soul and he lives in a body. If man is a spirit, it means that everything around man has the spiritual implication. Sometimes when we lack the understanding of that, it can lead us to a lot of struggle. You find out that people are struggling to make it, struggling to become wealthy, and they are not getting it because they are not building the spiritual angle of wealth. Wealth is spiritual. It is spiritual. If the real man is spiritual, then real wealth must be very spiritual. If the real man is spiritual, then real wealth must be spiritual. If you understand the realm of the spirit, then you will be in control of the physical. Many of the things that we see happening in the realm of the spirit or in the physical are first orchestrated in the spirit before it becomes physical. Wealth is not something you handle physically, it's something you handle spiritually. People who handle wealth physically, eventually, if they lose it and they don't have the spiritual base, they are going back to poverty. You have heard of people who they call money of yesterday, who they call one-time millionaire, who they call one-time very rich, but they are no longer rich. Why? They did not have the spirit of wealth. All they had was money as a physical connection. If all you have is the physical dimension of wealth, you are running a risky life. Your life is so risky, we need to help you. You must understand that wealth is first spiritual. Every physical event first happened in the spirit. And I can give you examples. Many of the things we are using today are people's ideas, people's products, and we call them things like brainchild. The reason why we call them brainchild was because somebody conceived it in the realm of the spirit. Ideas are not physical, they are internal. It is when you translate it to material things that it becomes physical. Your ability to see spiritual things gives you access to bring about things in the physical. If you want to change things truly, change them by the Spirit. If you want to change things truly, change them by the Spirit. Why is it that when people make money, they say they have done ritual? What does ritual have to do with money? A lot. Am I communicating? A lot. What does spiritual have to do with money? A lot. That's why people can do anything to get it. You would have heard of different kind of tales of people who did some very dangerous things to make money. It's because money is spiritual. If you don't understand that spiritual aspect, you may become a struggler for the rest of your life. For you not to become a struggler, you must enter into the spiritual dimension of wealth. You must enter that spiritual dimension. What are the spiritual hindrances that we often experience? Because many of us, it's not as if we are not willing, we are willing. But we have not been able to enter into that spiritual dimension. Why? Number one is activities that can destroy sensitivity. Many of us are too loaded with activities. You wake up in the morning, especially if you live in Lagos. Lagos, people who work and live in Lagos are supposed to be said to be witchcrafts or witches. Because it's only witches that wake up in the night, work in the night, and close in the night. Because people who live in Lagos, they wake up by 4:30 a.m. in the morning, prepare to go to work by 5 a.m. So while they are going to work, it is dark. When they close work, when they close at work by 5 or 6 o'clock, they stay in the office because if they leave by that time, they will still get home very late. So they leave around 9:30. When they are coming back from work, it's very late. Some of them, their children are already calling them uncle. That uncle that used to come every weekend. That uncle that used to come every weekend. That's what their children call them. Why? They leave in the night, come back in the night. When they leave, it's dark. When they come back, it's dark. Why? Activities upon activities. I can't lose my job. My job is very important to me. I can't lose my work. I can't lose this. I can't lose that. And they are buried in activities. Activity is the killer of sensitivity. When people are not sensitive, it is because they have been active everywhere, running up and down. You can't pay attention to the spiritual dimension of wealth if you are a person full of activity. Because spirituality demands concentration, demands focus, demands you analyzing things in your life, demands you entering into a deeper dimension of thinking, entering into a deeper dimension of your spirit. It demands you engaging your spirit so that your spirit can produce that wealth that has already been embedded in it. Everybody has been fashioned with wealth. There has never been anyone who was created poor. Everybody was created rich. But you were created rich in your spirit. You were not created rich physically. Maybe a few of us were created rich physically. Maybe your dad was rich and you happen to inherit the riches. That's physical creation. Well, I'm talking about in terms of what God has embedded on the inside of you. The spirit dimension of man is so wealthy, but you need to tap into it. And to tap into it, you need sensitivity. You need a time out when you separate yourself from activity and you go out, you go into a place, lock yourself up, and begin to intermingle with your spirit to be able to produce your spiritual dimension of wealth. Many years ago, I was going for a retreat. Okay, I just returned from a retreat. And I met one of my friends, maybe an elderly friend, and he said, "Where are you coming from? I've not seen you for some days." I said, "I went for a retreat." And he was wondering, you went for a retreat? I said, yes. He said, for what? What are you retreating for? I said, I'm retreating because I need to plan for the next phase of my life. I think some other time he saw again that I went for another retreat. At the third time when he noticed I was going for a retreat, he said, wow. He said, the way you are going, I am very sure you will never be poor in your life. And voila, here we have it. Many of us here, we may never have time to go for a retreat. 2020 is around the corner. Many people are waiting for the 2020, the day we will shout, Happy New Year. And they will say, that's true, we have entered 2020. How do I start planning? What do I do? You don't need to wait for that. If you are a sensitive person, you should know that 2020 is so strategic. It's like when we had year 2000. How many of you can remember when we had year 2000? When we had year 2000, everybody prepared for that year. Millennium. In fact, some people say the world was coming to an end then. I can remember that I repented like 13 times that same day. Anything you do to me, I would say, no. I want to be ready for the second coming. I want to be ready for the end of the world. But voila, 20 years has passed. And we are still expecting. But it wasn't about the end of the world. It was about the preparation to launch into the next phase of humanity. And how many of you can attest to the fact that 2000 brought us into the next phase of humanity? We entered the millennium, we entered the internet, we entered a whole lot of things that have changed the course of our living. Right now, you can't do anything without social media now. Social media is like the next body you have. After your real body, you have the next body, which is social media. That was what 2000 brought. If you are very sensitive and you are connected to the realm of the spirit, you will know how important 2020 is to the next phase of the things that are going to be happening. Go and Google the things that will be happening in 2020. Technological wise, medical wise, real estate wise. I was still telling them in a particular seminar I went for yesterday. I said, very soon the land in Lagos will finish. And we'll no longer be looking for land, we'll be looking for floors. So one person buys the land, builds the house, decks it, does a foundation that will take like 10-story building. So another person come and buy the floor. Buy another floor. Buy another floor. It will no longer be land. Things are changing. There are going to be houses in the air. They are going to be divided. What I'm talking about is already happening. Houses that you can dismantle. Now you build a house, you get another land, you can't take your house. Very soon you'll be able to take your the house. You dismantle the house and carry it to any location and couple it. Somebody is laughing and asking me, is this possible? Very possible. It's already happening. Already happening. You know, I said it some years ago that it will come to a time when people will be able to download food from the internet. And some people are looking at me that you must be mad to say that. Yes, that was how people were mad many years ago when they said people could fly on the air. It looked like madness. When we say we could communicate, you will be in America and I will be in Nigeria and we'll be communicating on phone, we'll be hearing ourselves. It looked like, how can voice travel? But today, voice is traveling. Not only voice, video is traveling. If you are sensitive, you will understand that we are about to cross into that dimension again. We are about to enter another phase of humanity that will make new millionaires. Before now, we have the industrialists who became the millionaires. We have the people who had companies that were into production who became the millionaires. We have people who were into banking who became the millionaires. But today, the equation has changed. The world's largest companies are no longer manufacturing companies. Go and check. So if you are sensitive, you will know that we're about to enter that season. That's what I'm about to bring you into. Become sensitive of the fact that we're entering into a new realm. And if you can't be sensitive except you are a person of the spirit. That's why I'm telling you, wealth is first a spiritual thing. If you must become wealthy, you must become wealthy first in your spirit before it becomes physical. So the hindrance to your spirituality is activity. The next hindrance is the challenges and circumstances that you are going through. People are in the bid to solve their problem, in the bid to solve challenges. They are not thinking of the next phase. I want to pay school fees. I want to pay house rent. I want to pay this bill. I want to pay that bill. And you keep running heka-sketa. Or like somebody that said, hakata sakata. Don't run heka-sketa. The more you are running, the more you are running into troubles. The more you are running into challenges. The more things are not getting better. Don't you think you need to take a break and look into your life and say, come, these challenges kept coming. You have been solving it now, it's been 10 years. You have been solving it now, it's been 5 years. Yet you have not been able to come out of it. Don't you think that something is wrong somewhere? You need to settle down and check your spirit. Challenges, circumstances are the killer of spirituality. They won't allow you to become spiritual. Because they know the moment you are able to settle down and enter into the realm of the spirit, solution will come. But because that's not the way they want you to go, so they keep hindering you. They keep hindering you. The next hindrance to spirituality is the denial of the existence of spirituality. Some people say, it's not by it. It's not by spirituality. It's not by it. It is by it. It is by it. Every man, when you die, your body goes away, your spirit lives on. Hello? Even if you don't understand it by the natural things that we experience on a daily basis. The spirit is what battery is to the phone. That's what the spirit is to the body. Once the battery runs down, the spirit is down. So if you deny that there is the existence of the spirit, then you'll be, of all men, most miserable. There is spiritual things controlling the physical thing. The last hindrance that I have here is lack of faith. Many of us have lost faith. We don't even have the kind of faith that can dare things. Because spiritual people, they dare things. They see things that others don't see. And because they see things that others don't see, they are able to develop the faith that others don't have. And they are able to dare things that others don't dare. One of the things I want to challenge you for 2020 is to dare things that other people will not dare. Is to dare to think the way people will not think. Is to dare to begin to imagine things that people will not imagine. Now, what is our spiritual system of production? What is this spiritual system of production? How does it work? How can I gain access to it? How can I use them? The first spiritual system of production is the thought realm. Somebody say the thought realm. The thinking realm. The thinking realm. I hope you heard what I said. I didn't say the worrying realm. I didn't say the troubling realm. I said the thought realm, the thinking realm. So if you enter the thought realm, you are gradually gaining access to the spiritual realm. And everybody has equal access to that realm. Haven't you experienced things like this? When you will be sharing an idea, but you are not sharing the idea occurred to you, and you wrote it down, and you have been guarding that book so jealously, until one day you just see a flash of advert. Voila, it's the same advert of the idea that you have been thinking of. In fact, sometimes the name that you have coined, that you say does not exist anywhere, only for you to go for search and you see like 10 names existing that way. And you'll be wondering, wow. So that makes you know that there is a place called the realm of the spirit, and everyone who is a spirit has access to it. If you hit anything there and download it, you are not the only one hitting it. You are not even the only one downloading it. The only thing is that many people will hit, many people will download, but only few people will act on it. That's wisdom. But even if you are not even hitting, you are in more trouble than anybody. You need to be hitting that dimension. The dimension of ideas. Ideas are in the realm of the spirit. They are not in the realm of the physical. That's where we get them from. I will get them. So the first thing you need is creative imagination. Creative imagination. I'm going to be using the word creative because in the world we live now, if you are not creative, you cannot survive the competition. The competition is so tense. You are not even competing with your peers. You are competing with the globe. China is taking over the African market. If you are not very competitive, you can lose out. So you have to engage your creative imagination. The ability to keep creating things in your mind. The ability to begin to create things in your mind constantly. I've heard people say, my business needs capital to run. Please, whatever capital you are looking for, don't lack idea capital. That is one of the best capital that can keep running a business even when you don't have money. Idea capital. So you need to have the creative imagination. What is this creative imagination? It is your ability to see the impossible. Your ability to see the impossible. What people are saying is not possible, you see it and you begin to declare that it's possible. It's your ability to see the invincible. The things that are not open to other people to see. There are things that I have started seeing about 2020 that I know not many of my peers are seeing. It's the ability to do what? See the impossible, see the invisible. If you close your eyes, you will see many things. But let me tell you what will characterize the things you will see. The position of your heart is what determines what you see. Your exposure is what determines what you see. Your belief is what determines what you see. If you don't believe that success is real, you may never see success when you close your eyes. Many people, when they close their eyes, what they see is that they see people pursuing them in the dream. They see people cursing them. They see things getting worse. The same access we have with the realm of the spirit, but people are seeing different things. When you get there, become creative. See the invincible, see the impossible, and come back and make it a reality. To have creative imagination is to see what others don't see. Creative imagination is the ability to see what others don't see. There are many things people are not seeing now. Can you see it and go ahead and implement, and you become a genius? Some people call us genius, but it's not that we are genius. It's the fact that we can see what others don't see. Some people went to school, they have all the degrees, but they can't afford to see. When they see, they don't even believe in what they see. I remember a particular movie I watched. This guy was seeing very far. The professor was killing the scene. The guy eventually died. He committed suicide. And what he saw then became a reality now. Everybody's using drone. That was what the guy was seeing then. That we don't need to carry cameras like this. Cameras can be flying on the air. And the professor said that's not possible. Lofty ideas. Doesn't have any basis. But today, do we have drones everywhere? In fact, there are now satellite drones that they plant on the air. You guys think you are in Nigeria, nobody is seeing you. They are seeing you. There is drone in the air watching you. How do you type in your address on Google Map and it shows the picture of your house? A drone has passed to take the picture. Creative ideas. Creative, seeing what others cannot see. Creative ideas or creative imagination is the ability to use your creative instinct to create your wealthy world. I don't know whether you do some of these things. I think when we were much younger, we did them. But now that we are older, we have withdrawn from doing them. Have you noticed that children are very creative and imaginative? They come and say some things, and you wonder, voila. My son was talking the other day, and he said, Daddy, I want to touch you. We are talking on video call. And he said, Daddy, I want to touch you. He will bring out food. He said, Daddy, can I put it in your mouth? Take. Well, it's impossible, isn't it? It's impossible. Is it possible? It sounds impossible. It sounds impossible for him to be able to touch me. But how many of you have used, what is this thing they put in the eyes? Visual reality. How many of you have used it? You would think you are really in the place. The day I used it, I was like, this is real, very real. You are entering dungeon like this, and it's like it's real. Fire is burning. You can feel the fire in your body, and it's real. Very soon, there will be no distance. You can stay here. Your wife is in the US, and you can touch each other. Hello, honey. And you touch the chick, and they will feel it. You are laughing. It looks impossible. But that's what some people will see and begin to look for solution. How do I make this a reality? How do I make this a reality? And once they make it a reality, you and I begin to celebrate them, but their pockets would have been full. That's the way to wealth. It is spiritual. It is spiritual. You can't access it if you are not a spiritual person. So it's the ability to use your creative instincts to create your wealthy world. I've started telling people about the things that I will have in my life. That in my lifetime, I will have a private jet. In my lifetime, I will own companies all over the world. In my lifetime. I don't know what you are doing with your own mouth, but these are the things I do with my mind and my mouth. I close my eyes and I see people all over the world working for me. This is spiritual, my dear. It is spiritual. If you see it in the realm of the spirit, you can actualize it physically. Your creative imagination is your ability to think far. Others are thinking of now. Some people are thinking of yesterday, but some people are thinking of tomorrow. What will tomorrow be like? It's not like the song that they sang. I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be handsome? Will I be rich? Guess what he said to me? Oh, Sarah, whatever will be the lie. Whatever will be will not be, except you make it be. Some people are thinking of the past. Some people are thinking of the present. Why some of us have decided to think of the future? Because the future is not visible. The past is already visible. We can see it. We have even touched it. We have experienced it. The present is where we are living. If we need to get something new, we need to launch into the future. We need to launch into the future. And the future is only real to the people who can access it by the Spirit. Access it by creative imagination. So when we're growing up, they will ask you, what do you want to become? I want to become this. I want to become that. I want to become this. By the time you are 15, they ask you, what do you want to become? Then I've started saying this small. I want to become this. I want to become that. Let me take an instance. When you say, what do you want to become? I want to become a superhero. That's what my son told me, a superhero. And the mom said, what is superhero? I said, no. Don't say what is superhero. He is a superhero. All those cartoons that they create, some of the times you say the things they do in cartoons, they are not possible. People are already implementing them, they are not possible. My son said he wants to become a superhero. That was how you said you wanted to become a superhero. Today, you are looking for one superhero that will help you. Your superhero dream has been lost. Why? Because while you were growing up, they told you it's no longer possible. He told you, what is superhero? You want to become a superhero. Your mates are becoming lawyers, doctors. You say you want to save the world. What are you saving the world from? Hello? The people who are saving the world, they are the richest people on earth. The people who are solving the problem of the globe, they are the richest people on earth. So why don't you allow your dream to envelop you, to overwhelm you, so that you can start living the life of your dream. So by the time you get to 21 and you are not able to get admission, especially in Nigeria, those dreams begin to live. You want to become a doctor, they said, why don't you do microbiology? It's the same medicine line. And it's okay, rather than staying at home, you took microbiology. Today, you are nowhere. Microbiology, you don't like. Medicine, you are not doing. And right now, the dreams are gone. You have a microbiology, you have a certificate in microbiology, but you are working in the bank. The productivity dimension has gone down. When they are not talking about those dreams, you say that's lofty dreams. We're kids when we're talking those things. People who never left their dream, they are living the life of their dream today. What I said growing up was that I want to travel around the whole world speaking. And today I'm doing that. I never allowed the dream to escape. I kept on with the dream. I'm challenging you. Be sensitive. Be creative. Enter the realm of the spirit where you can have creative imagination. Where you begin to create it. Even if you have not bought the car, buy it in your mind. Buy it in your imagination. Even if you have not built the house, get a picture of that house and have it in your mind. For some of us, we even got the picture, real picture, and pasted somewhere so that we can see it every day. What you see has a way of entering your spirit and getting internalized in your spirit. So that when you now see the opportunity to make it happen, you run at it. Creative imagination is your ability to look for things differently, to see things differently. It's your ability to look at things differently, to see things differently. People are seeing it in this direction, you are seeing it in another direction. The wise man once said that when everybody is going right, if you go left, you most likely will be right. Yeah. When everybody is going right, he said if you go left, you most likely will be the right person. Have you experienced this in Lagos? One day somebody in Oshodi started running and was running. And people started following him. Everybody was following him. So one of the guys that was following him, that was running after him, said, oh boy, what's happening? Why are you running? He said, I'm jogging. He said, hold on. Nothing happened. He said, nothing happened. I'm just jogging. And you're shouting. He said, yes, I'm shouting because I have earphones. Wow. And everybody's following you. See, the fact that people are moving does not mean that's the direction. It may just be that you are moving with someone who is going to another direction entirely and you don't know where they're going. So don't follow the bandwagon effect. People are waiting for things to happen for them to respond. I think spiritual people, they make things happen, others respond. Others follow. They create the things that others follow. If you're a spiritual person, you'll be able to get the ideas before it becomes very open for others. Creative imagination. The next one that you need to get is creative ideas. Creative ideas. These are the access to the realm of the spirit. Creative ideas. Where you sit down and begin to look at how can I be a solution to my generation. The challenge is many of us are getting peanuts. When you give monkey peanut, he takes it and be eaten because that's what's available. But when monkey see the banana, he forgets that there's something called peanuts. Some of us were enjoying peanuts, not knowing that there's banana. You don't have an idea that there is banana. You can have something better. Creative ideas. You need to engage in creative ideas. Become a creator. Become what? A creator. Because you are already one. All you need to do is to enter into that creative instinct and begin to create something for your destiny. I don't care whether you work for somebody or you work for yourself. It doesn't matter. There is something that has been wired in you that needs to find expression. Don't kill that thing. Give it expression. You have been using other people. When will people start using you? You wear Louis Vuitton. You spray. What's the perfume now? I can't remember anyone in my head now. Adidas. You wear Adidas. You wear Nike. You use Samsung. You use Apple. Somebody needs to come up with Weber. Another person needs to come up with plantain or banana. At least there's banana island. Park view. No, I'm talking about fruits. Watermelon garden. There's even orange.